So yeah, that got me all the way up to 82%, and apparently the ass warmer turned itself on. There's certain things this car does by itself that just bug the shit out of me. Like I've turned off auto climate, but it keeps turning them on. This is the first time the seat warmer's turned itself off. I mean, maybe I bumped the button with my hand. It's possible, but seat warmer is a feature that I neither wanted nor needed, but I think it's standard on all EV6s. I don't like something hot under my ass, like, ever. I feel like I'm being sexually violated by the car right now. So I'm driving it also changed the climate controls some and changed my volume knob into the thermostat, which I don't like it when it does that by itself. Like, I thought I disabled that, but I don't know, it still doesn't. Anyway, I get to do the lovely drive through Papago Park, which is kind of wasting my time, but it is a lovely drive. I don't really understand why, but the zoo parking people, which I asked them, by the way, if they work for the zoo or if they work for a parking company, and told the gal I talked to that I've worked for Ace Parking before, so I was curious who had the contract. Anyway, yeah, for some reason they directed me out, and maybe I did it wrong, but it felt like they directed me out to
if you're going to be doing some sort of Christmas
the road.
Eve.
Oh, look, somebody came here in a Waymo and it decided to drop them off at that stupid location where vehicles shouldn't be stopping. I legit need a job for Waymo, going through and looking at that kind of data and fixing it. Because that's my biggest complaint with Waymo, is that it will stop and pick up and drop off at people at places where cars shouldn't be stopping, and y'all just saw it. So yeah, anyway, for some reason I told them I was on my way out because I was wanting to turn left, and they directed me to turn right, and anyway, that put me on the drive on the one-way road that goes up to Hole in the Rock, which is over there on my right, which I can't see it because of that little butte there. Yeah, Hole in the Rock over there to the right. There's also a charger inside Desert Botanical Garden, although I do think it's Blink. I've pretty much come to the conclusion that Blink is overpriced, unreliable, hot garbage, and it's just best to pretend that their public chargers don't exist. And I just got confirmation from Andrew that yeah, just avoid them. They're garbage and overpriced. So anyway, check this out. It's my this is my charging summary from ChargePoint. Yeah, all that for free. Well, wandering around the zoo for free. That is way more my style. This is like the best, like, free entertainment morning honestly, it kind of ranks like ever. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd rather be waking up in the arms of a beautiful, amorous woman in the morning, but a free visit to the zoo and free juice for the car is a pretty damn close second. So anyway, on that note, I am headed right now to Mark Kia. Now, I don't know if Christian's going to be there today. Not too worried about it if he's taking Christmas Eve off. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the dealership's closed for Christmas Eve. But curious about a couple things with the car. Most notably, down here, there's a cover. You can see it's missing. And yeah, I don't know what's up with that, but I want to make sure that they're aware and that they try to find me a replacement, and that it gets noted as something that they screwed up upon delivering the car, so I don't get charge for that at the end of the lease. Because God knows how much they try to tax me for that stupid thing that I was not even provided. And I'm bewildered. Like, why'd they even take that off? I mean, I have my theory. My theory is that they probably opened that hole up to attach an additional tracking device. I don't know that for certain, but I know a lot of dealerships do that sort of thing. Which I'm, whatever. It's a leased car. It's not a purchased car. So, and even a purchased car, if it's financed, is still not a purchased car. It's a car in the process of being purchased, which is not the same thing. So I'm not bothered by that at all. But I am bothered that they left the hole open, if indeed that's why the hole was open. I mean, at least give me the cover back and say, oh yeah, by the way, there's a tracker in your car. And of course, I could fully remove the tracker, although I wouldn't be surprised if in that huge contract I signed that I said that I would not do it and there would be a penalty if I did. I should really peruse that thing at some point before I lose it in the mess that is my apartment. Anyway, that's the main thing I want to address, but I also want to ask about how exactly I disable the feature that keeps moving my seat around, which drives me absolutely fucking nuts. I'd also kind of like to know how to disable any of the auto climate stuff. There's a very basic way I like to have my climate settings, and as I'm, being somewhat on the spectrum, I'm very bothered by moving air. I'm very bothered by the sound of fans, and I like it to always be slightly warm. So I could show those, but I'm sort of driving. So I guess I could always just pull over and pan the camera down. It's not like I'm in any hurry to get anywhere right now. So I'm driving through South Scottsdale, eastbound on McDowell Road. And on a completely different subject, Taco Bell has its decades menu going on. And check out this artifact that still exists in South Scottsdale. How awesome is that? We got like a 1990s Taco Bell sign and facelift on a very late 60s, early 70s Taco Bell. I want them to put the bell back in there so bad. Now, the interior on this one is actually, I don't know if I want to go as far as to say it's modern, but it's current-ish, although they do not have a digital menu. Obviously, this is a franchise store, but you know what? It is still Taco Bell. I'm tempted to renew my Nacho Fry Lovers Pass. Give me a free Nacho Fry right now, but I'm particularly hungry. Ooh, I love this song. Got it on First Wave right now. I don't know that I've ever heard this mix of this song before. Now, I don't know why it's showing that it's First Wave. There we go. Forever Young, Alphaville. It's not saying what the remix is, but this is definitely a remix. Every time I hear this song, I'm reminded of the best mixtape a girl ever gave me. God, I love that woman. Can't remember her name, but yeah, I love that woman several times. So anyway, here's the climate controls, and that's one of the things that a lot of people say that they hate about the EV6, and to be honest, it's not one of my favorite things, but that switches between audio controls and climate controls, and this is how I like it. I want it synced, I want it at 76 degrees, I want the fan blowing down and out, and I want it at 1, no higher. If I absolutely need to get it cooler or warmer, I'll manually bring it up. Other than that, leave me the fuck alone. I want the AC off. Don't ever turn it on. If I want it on, I will manually turn it on. And at all times that I reach for that knob, I want it to be the volume. Because I tend to ride with my volume pretty damn loud. I like loud music. And I like that that's a knob. Now, I'm well aware that I can raise and lower the volume on the steering wheel. But that is 2 buttons on a lever. That is a knob. Not the same thing. Now, granted, it's a digital knob, so kind of close to the same thing. But those kind of things make a big difference to me and the way my whacked brain works. So, yeah, it just absolutely yanks my chain when these climate settings change themselves. And, oh, look, there's a robot just driving through the parking lot. La, 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 la. It also bugs the shit out of me when I got it cranked up and for some reason, like the phone rings or I need to talk to somebody and I go to turn down the volume and I just suddenly kick on the air conditioning and it starts blowing cold air at me. That's not what I want. I just want to turn down volume so I can hear or talk to somebody. And it reminds me of actually one of my first EV6 experiences when, same thing. I was rolled down the window. I was trying to talk to one of my coworkers. I don't remember her name, but God, I miss her. One of the gals I worked with frequently at Hertz. And I vlogged about her quite a bit back when I was doing the vlogs. Although I didn't post as many of the Hertz ones as I would have liked to. But she still works there. I miss her. Her name will come back to me. Not right now, but later. But yeah, she rolled up and wanted to say something to me, and I rolled the window down, and she's trying to talk to me, and I can't figure out how to turn. I turned volume way up, and I couldn't figure out how to turn it down. And I was just like blasting cold air at myself and cursing the car. And I'm like, I finally got out of the car and I walked over to her, and I'm like, I can't figure out how to turn the volume down. I'm so embarrassed. I'm like, do you know how to do it? And she goes, in that thing? No. I'm like, what do you mean you can't figure out how to turn the volume down? Just turn the volume knob. How'd you turn it up? I said, the knob I turned it up with is turned on the air conditioning. I don't know what the fuck is going on with this thing. And she just slapped at me because, when you're working at Hertz, you're dealing with all kinds of new cars with quote unquote innovative features. Like sometimes you just deal with some stupid shit. And I haven't decided whether this touch screen and these knobs are innovative features or stupid shit. It doesn't even pick one side of that line or tread the line. It just jumps boldly from one side of the line to the other, depending on the mood of the car. And and does this car have? It seems like sometimes this car has a mind of its own. And I've had other cars that sometimes seem like they have a mind of their own. There's times the Saturn seems like it has a mind of its own, but it doesn't. This one, I think it actually does. I think it does. Yeah. Speaking of the car and it having a mind of its own, so I was chatting with Lily, not my daughter, but the one younger woman I had to date with the other night, and she, if we could call that a date, it was dinner. It was nice. Anyway, I was chatting with her, and she referred to the car as her, to which I responded, if I was to gender the car, it would have to be him, because it appears to have a rather strong pussy magnet installed on it, which she found amusing. And so anyway, I'm thinking about that. And as I'm using one of the free chargers, because as I mentioned, like after work yesterday, I was hit. Oh God, I love madness. When the free XM runs out, it's going to be a hard decision as to whether or not I pay to keep it on or turn it off, because I really like it. Anyway, of course, if I keep it on, I can probably also add my home tuner, and that would be nice. And probably even put the smartphone app, actually put the smartphone app on my smart TV. It can do that, even when you're not supposed to. I figured out how to side load on it. So anyway, as I was saying, I'm talking to the ex-girlfriend or so-called girlfriend or whatever I'm calling her these days, and Sorry, so many thoughts wander through my head just thinking of that woman. But anyway, oh, hey, there's my alarm going off. It's time to wake up. So anyway, I'm trying out some of the free chargers last night. Like, I went to the one that I went to today at the zoo that was free, and I got there just in time to see them shut off. They shut themselves off at 10. It's not a matter of them being closed, like you can't get there at 10. Like, they literally shut themselves off at 10. You can't activate them after 10. And I'm trying to figure out how to activate them, and I got there like right before 10 in time to see them change from being ready to be activated to this charger is closed. So, damn. But then I looked at PlugShare and saw that at the APS office, like literally across the street, that free charger's there. Okay. See what's up with those. And I was able to charge on it. I didn't get much use of it. It's a very slow charger, and it was even slower on my car. But it was free. I'm just trying to learn what available EV charging infrastructure is around me and how it works. It's a fun way to pass the time right now. And if I can get a little extra juice on the car, why not? I'm sitting at 81% right now. That the car believes, the car that has a mind of its own, that it's mine, thinks I'll get 221 miles out of it. Which, by the way, that's not just a linear thing of that battery percentage equals that miles. That's actually the car with the mind of its own thinking about how I drive and how I've been driving and what I'm likely to get out of that. As I've seen several reports of people saying that, you know, when they got their car, it was saying they would get X miles out of a certain battery percentage. And then after doing certain driving habits to increase the mileage, it's now saying that they're going to get Y miles out of it. So it's kind of funny when people say, you know, what's the range on the car? And I always tell people it really depends on how you drive it. Because a lot of people just don't realize that. And it's not any different in a gas car. I mean, my mileage that I got on my CRX could vary wildly depending on whether I'm trying to do hyper mileage, you know, overshifting type and coasting type behavior, or whether I want to drive it like an idiot with a zippy fast rice burner. You know, it makes a big difference on the mileage on it. I could get amazing mileage on the CRX, or I could burn the shit out of my gas. And I'm having fun either way. So, you know. Anyway, about the gender of the car. Oh, yeah, it's time for me to wake up. That means I don't have a lot of time to mess at Marquia before I need to go to work, though. But anyway, yeah, so I'm doing that, and I'm trying to figure out how to get that charger to work, because every new charger is a new adventure on how you make it work. They're all different. And that one was super simple, but like I had to pull out a flashlight just to read the directions because they were not lit up. And in fact, that one was probably the simplest one I've ever used, to be honest, as far as public chargers go. But the one at APS. Anyway, I'm talking to Priscilla on the phone. And in the car, when the charging initiates, it says in a very female voice, oh, I forget exactly what it says, but it's something like, charging has started. And I'm thinking to myself, nah, car's definitely female. That is a very feminine voice. So I wanted to gender the car male. Based on voice alone, it definitely identifies as a female. It is what it is.